Hi, I'm Jonathan. Nvidia is reveling in everything right now. They're about to complete a deal that will make them the world's premier AI company. Nvidia is about to acquire Arm from SoftBank. Arm is located in Cambridge and has incredible reach into the world's mobile devices market. Nvidia and Arm are, of course, promising to uphold the competition regulation and, in fact, improve competition in the space. Regulators are not convinced. Regulators from the UK, from the US, from EU, and from China are all needing to sign off on the deal before it can go forward. Nvidia stock is up over 55% over the last year, 1100% over the last 5 years. That represents significant gains from Nvidia stockholders who have been along for the ride. To send a bullish signal to the market, Nvidia chose to split their stock, and they completed this split in July. The market obliged Nvidia with the response that Nvidia wanted. The stock is up over 50% since the stock split announcement. Nvidia has set themselves up to be split into 3 different product lines into 3 different segments. They're in gaming, data centers, and cloud. In each segment, Nvidia is at or near the top of the market. Nvidia is a high performer. They're a company that a lot of companies aspire to be. It's hard to consider the competition when Nvidia has been so dominant. However, it's very important to do so. Some of the main competitors to Nvidia are Intel, AMD, Qualcomm, and Broadcom. Intel is a prime example, a case study on why companies need to acknowledge the competition and they need to move forward. As a few years ago, Intel would have been thought of as this excellent company, this company to aspire to be. However, in recent years, Intel has been outsourcing manufacturing and missing deadlines on their newest chip deliveries. They are a cautionary tale. Arm is located in Cambridge, England. Arm engages in the design and licensing of Arm processors, which are often used in mobile and small devices. Arm was previously independent, listed on the exchanges. However, in 2016, SoftBank, the Japanese bank, purchased Arm in order to add them to their portfolio. Arm has a very large footprint and significant software in the AI space. Nvidia brokered this deal to buy Arm from SoftBank for $40 billion. A condition of this deal was that Nvidia would pay SoftBank $1.25 billion in cash, and this cash has already been paid. This cash payment was a signal of intent from Nvidia to SoftBank. This merger will help turn AI possibilities into realities sooner, according to the information released from Nvidia and Arm. Nvidia will be propelled forward in the mobile and Internet of Things spaces where Arm already has a large footprint and already has a large offering. Arm is very active in these spaces, having different types of processors, some flexible processors, which will be a huge advantage in the Internet of Things space. Arm licenses their processors to many mobile device manufacturers throughout the world. This deal is said to create a new wave of innovation around the world, at least if you read the press clippings from Nvidia and Arm. If this deal isn't approved and then completed by September of 2022, Nvidia is set to lose the $1.25 billion payment they already made to SoftBank, as they will not be refunded. I know 2022 seems like a long ways away, and it doesn't seem like we should be too concerned because it's over a year from today's date. However, the speed at which these regulators, the speed at which Nvidia is influencing and convincing regulators to approve this deal has not been up to speed. In fact, in earnings, the CFO of Nvidia mentioned that the deal is not progressing as fast as they hoped. There is a real possibility that Nvidia will be forfeiting this cash. Nvidia will no longer be purchasing Arm. Looking at the case for this deal to go through, the benefits from the perspective of Arm and Nvidia. The merger will benefit Arm in the fact that they get access to Nvidia's knowledge and Nvidia's skills, Nvidia's experience with AI. This will also help out the UK because Nvidia will be transferring part of their intellectual property right and research information and budget to Arm in the UK. This will mean propelling Arm forward and providing Arm's customers with better products, better services, better offerings, and a wider breadth of offerings. Nvidia plans to help Arm build out their server offerings in order to compete better with the x86 architecture, which is dominant in the server infrastructure space. Arm and Nvidia are complementary. They have complementary business models, products, knowledge, and skills, as well as complementary breadth versus focus on their markets. Recently, some of Arm's customers have come out to support the deal. Some of those customers, such as Broadcom, Marvell, and MediaTek. Nvidia and Arm both contend that this merger will improve innovation, competition, and both companies' ability to compete financially and perform financially in the coming years, months, and decades. When looking at regulation with respect to mergers and acquisitions, the number one question normally is this going to hurt competition? Are they creating monopoly power? However, challenges to this deal seem to be coming from a different place, or at least another place. Reports say that the UK is considering blocking this deal on grounds of national security, not just because it might hurt competition, competition. This is because ARM is so important to the UK. They are very important to the future with their focus on AI and semiconductor. Over the recent months, there have been a lot of attempts, a lot of international takeover attempts of UK companies from international companies or international entities. The ARM deal is not the only deal that is being talked about currently, and this is leading some to believe that the ARM deal for Nvidia is less likely to happen because the UK needs to make an example, or they at least need to limit the amount of international ownership they have of their companies. China is interested in this deal because there is a joint venture between ARM and a Chinese-based company in order to grow technology and IP into semiconductor space. Regulators are looking for every reason they can find in order to block this deal. They've looked at competition, they will continue to look at competition, they will look at national security. I believe this deal will more likely than not be blocked and will not go through. Therefore, Nvidia is in line to lose the $1.25 billion they already paid to SoftBank. In the end, I think there are too many hurdles for Nvidia and ARM. I don't believe they'll be able to convince all of the regulators that this deal should go through. The bottom line, this would mean that Nvidia stands to forfeit their $1.25 billion. As September 2022 rolls by, they just lose that cash. They lose all benefits that it provided. Nvidia will most likely be looking for other targets as it becomes more and more likely that this deal won't go through. From an investor's perspective, the market doesn't seem to be considering this deal very likely because when these announcements came out about the UK blocking the deal or considering blocking the deal, Nvidia stock did not suffer too much. The opposite perspective is if this deal somehow gets completed, Nvidia investors stand to benefit considerably because Nvidia and ARM will form a very nice complementary partnership to launch forward. If this video has brought you value, please help me out by smashing the like button. Do you believe the market is already pricing in the merger falling through? Leave it in the comments down below.